Hey everybody, I wanted to share with you the chore system that I use with my kids. It's called Accountable Kids, and you can see it right there. It's been really great. It consists of these boards. You see I have three because of my three of my kids that are old enough to do chores. And you can choose to have their names put on there, or you can paint them on or decorate them yourself, and you can get them blank and then do it yourself. But this is super, helpful. I've tried so many different systems with my kids. I've tried chore charts, I've tried behavior charts, I've tried other sorts of motivation or punishment or whatever, different things to do with my kids to get them to behave, or to get them to do their chores, or to get them to remember to do their chores. But when we found this kit, this works really well. Nothing else worked. Everything else kind of just fell apart. But this one really worked great. So here's how it works. So I bought this. I'll back up a little bit. You can see the other little board we have. So I bought the kit on the website. Their website's accountablekids.com. So easy. I bought the basic kit or something to that effect. It's obvious which one it is. And it comes with one board and one set of cards and a book and a DVD. You want the book and the DVD because there are a lot of different pieces to this kit, and you need the book or the DVD to tell you how it works. They have the videos on their website as well. You can actually go look at them anytime to see how it works, and that'd be a great idea for you to go to. If you go to their website, on their homepage, video 1 is there, and then you can follow that through YouTube to the other videos, and it explains exactly how it works. So that would be a great thing for you to watch as well when you're deciding if this will work for you. But anyway, so I bought that, and then I bought an extra set for each child, or for each other child, and then I bought that little board at the top. I don't remember what they call that, the mini board. That's what they call it, the mini board. And I'm really glad I bought that because it's handy for keeping all the tickets and everything on. I also bought some blank chore cards, which I'll explain in just a second, but those have been really useful. So here's how it works. I'm going to get a little closer to one board. So here's how it works. You have the chore cards here, and it comes with, I don't even know how many, it comes with a ton of chore cards with all kinds of different chores on it that you can choose which ones you want to have your children do. And then I think it has 4, or it may be more than that. It has at least 4 blank cards. I can't remember. We got all the sets together and I had extras, so I've got cards everywhere. But it has a few blank ones, so you can add in anything that they didn't have. But they have tons. They have everything, almost everything you can imagine. I was coming up with new chores just going through the tickets, or the cards. So you choose which cards your kids are going to use. If you see, I wrote numbers on mine. I have 2 there, 1 there, and 3 there, because they like to mix it up and go, oh, that's not my chore, that's her chore. So to prevent that, I just numbered them by kid. So we'll look at this one. So then you cut the cards. They come like this with all those colored lines. So what you do is you cut. So if you want, so the way I have it is if they're cut off at the yellow, they're morning chores. If they're cut off at the red, that's our school. I use it for school assignments as well, since we homeschool. But if not, you can use the school. There's several school cards. You could use it for homework, or you can use it for assignments. The blue is our afternoon chores that they do before lunch. The purple for us is our evening chores, and if it has all of the colors down to green, that's an extra. So this one's an extra chore over here that they can do for a bonus buck, which I'll talk about more. So here are their morning chores. So they come down in the morning, and they do the chore, and they turn it over and put it on the finished. See, it says finished. And that one's broken, which I'll also talk about in just a second. Finished peg. So as they go through each one, and they turn it over and put it on, well, goodness, on finished. So they get through all of them, and I come in, and I check and see if they actually did everything. And if they did everything for the morning, then they get a ticket. Here's a ticket. It was up on my little board, and I put it down here. So the tickets have to be exchanged for TV time, computer time. I'm actually pretty strict. They have to use it for Legos. I keep telling them I'm going to make them use it for coloring because it makes a mess. So I have a list of activities that they have to do that they have to use the tickets to do. And for TV, for media stuff that's tied to a specific amount of time. So then they would come in, and hers doesn't have school on it, but they would come, and then before lunch they have to do all of the afternoon chores with the blue. And the same thing, turn them over and get their ticket if they did it. One thing I'll note is they have to do their chores, for me anyway, they have to do their chores without complaining to get a ticket. Now the other aspects of the board, you'll see this card right here. If they get all of their chores, if they do all their chores and get all their tickets for each chore section for the whole day, they get a star. They don't have to have the tickets. At the end of the day, they could have used it for an activity. But if they earn their tickets for every point in the day, they get a star. And once they get 10 stars, there are special rewards for that. It says a date with mom or dad. Usually we do that. Sometimes we've told ours if they can all fill up a card, then we'll do something fun as a family, like go to a special place, a theme park or something, a small theme park, not Disney World, but something fun if they all can fill it up and they all want to redeem it for that. So we offer bigger incentives for that. We also have our extra chore tickets here, which they can earn a bonus buck for. And there's that, and that they can exchange for $1 at the end of the week. Now, if bad behavior happens, if something that is against the rules happens, then they would lose a ticket. That would be the cost. That would be the consequence. So there's consequences involved in here too. So they'd lose a ticket, and then they can't have TV time or anything. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a couple other things on this. Let me just say, it does sound like a lot and overwhelming when you first get into it, and they do explain all this on the DVD and the book. And it is a lot, but you phase this in. So you start one aspect. You start the chore cards and the tickets, and that's all you do for a week or two. Then you move on to maybe doing this card, and then you move on to maybe doing the extra chore. So you add it in a little by little so they can kind of figure it out, and you can figure it out. The other things we have are best behavior cards. These are given for special best behavior that is, I don't want to say out of the ordinary, but if they do something especially kind or good or helpful, then you could give them this. And this, you can tie different awards to it. We've done it where it's just an extra ticket. We've done it where it gets a special award at the end of the week. And then there are privilege passes, and these are used, this one's really sad looking. These are used for specific behaviors that you really want to modify. We used it for going to bed and not getting up, and not having to be reminded to stay in bed. If they went, for a certain child, if she went to bed and stayed in bed and didn't get up, she got a privilege pass in the morning. And then for a while, they could only go play with friends if they had their privilege pass for the day. There's other things that can be done with that. We've used it for being nice to siblings. We've used it for other things too. So that's when you want to modify a very specific behavior that hopefully, and you use it for a limited time for that behavior and then change. So I think that's most of the aspects of it. Again, you're going to need the book or the DVD to know exactly how to use all this, but I wanted to give you a visual of everything. And one thing I wanted to note, in addition to the tip of numbering your cards per kid, these are, our cards, that one's still intact. Our kids are rough on these things, and they get torn like this. And I don't want to have to replace actually you can see I fixed that one already. I don't want to have to replace them all the time. They tend to yank down on them. So if your kids aren't rough on the cards, it won't be a problem. These are pretty heavy duty. But what I do to fix them is I take the part I cut off the bottom of some of them. So I have a piece here. And I glue it on the back. Because it's already the right size. So I line it up and glue it on the back. And then I punch holes in it to put the hole back in there. And then you have a nice new fresh thing until they rip it off again. You could also use cardstock to do that, to repair them. So I don't know, ours get pretty wore out, but maybe yours won't get as wore out. But that's an easy way to fix it, an easy and inexpensive way to fix it. So hopefully that helps you. And then the other thing I was going to show you is I have our list up here, and here's where I've made scribbles because I've changed things, but I have a chore list. So sometimes these cards go missing, and then my kids like to say, but there's not a ticket for it, so I don't have to do it. Well, I have a master list, and this is what I check. So they still need to keep up with their cards and be responsible for doing their chores. And then I have what the tickets can be used for right here, and I have what tickets will be taken away for, what behaviors will result in a loss of a ticket. having this all written and hanging right here with my cards or with our boards is helpful, because then they can't argue. It's written, it's right there on that paper, and that is the law around here. So this again is the Accountable Kids system. You can find it at accountablekids.com. On Tuesday I will have a blog post up about it, but I wanted to give you all a visual because it really is easier if you can see how it works. Alright, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining me. See you later.